Welcome to Accelerate OC, the only show focused on the people leading innovation in Orange County. Join our host, Kerry Ransom, in his conversations with the trendsetters, entrepreneurs, investors, and leaders here, because it's time to Accelerate OC.
Good morning. Welcome to Accelerate OC. I'm Kerry Ransom, and I am joined today by our engineer, Paul, who always makes things run so smoothly here at Accelerate OC. Thanks to Paul. And I'm also super excited to welcome my friend Sean Conrad here today. And before we get to hear all the words of wisdom and insight from Sean, let me tell you a little bit about him. Sean is the CEO of the Internet Marketing Association, which actually has been around for nearly 20 years. And, it almost came out about the same time as the internet for most of us. But it's been around since 2001, and it's one of the largest organizations that was set up to really connect a bunch of professionals across various business disciplines that connect to the internet. So you've got folks that are marketers, you've got creatives, you've got people that are building or developing software as well. And it's been a super active network and has well over 1 million members. So really, really impressive. And I think the most interesting thing is the Internet Marketing Association was started here in Orange County. And so another example of things in Orange County really innovating and leading the way. Sean's also a principal at Epic Insurance Brokers, and he provides sort of his day job or part of his day job is providing insurance products, consulting, and other services to businesses. And, the thing I really appreciate about Epic is they have the classic culture of being a place that people want to work and want to be a part of. And they've been recognized both within their industry. The insurance industry is one of the best places to work, but also in a number of their offices around the country. And so I think that, really tells the tale of why somebody like Sean and I get along. We really believe the power of culture in companies is so important to long-term success. Sean's also a founding member of the International Executive Council, IEC, which actually came out of IMA's roots. We'll talk a little bit more about that. And it's attracted an amazing group of leaders who have a shared passion around tech innovation and how they can personally and professionally grow around that. And no doubt there will be a number of folks in coming weeks and months from IEC who will be guests on Accelerate OC. And so look forward to Sean and Sinan and others being a part of this on an ongoing basis, because many of those folks are based here in Orange County. And so I think, what you will continue to see from this show is that there are amazing people here doing incredible things. And, my mission is to try to connect more of them to each other and to our broader community. So I've had the pleasure of getting to know Sean over the last year, and I really appreciate his passion for entrepreneurship, for innovation, and really he's an Orange County guy through and through, and has the shared belief with me that we can continue to make this a world leader in innovation and how to start and build the next generation of companies and brands. And so I'm sure we'll talk a little bit today about branding, which is something that he also has a lot of passion about. So Sean, you're doing your part for sure with all your work with IMA and IEC. I'm excited to have you here today and really excited to introduce you to the broader Accelerate OC audience. Thanks for coming in.
Kerry, it's a pleasure to be here. I got to say that's one of the best introductions I think I've ever had. So you can come with me anytime you're available. We'll do this on a regular basis.
Yeah, happy to warm the crowd up for you anytime.
Phenomenal. Thank you.
Great. Well, let's get to the starting line. So IMA's been around for a long time. I think it's worth for this group to introduce the history and who IMA is. So let's start there.
Yeah, the history is fascinating. It's based in Orange County, as you so perfectly indicated, and started in 2001. This was really the brainchild of my friend, business partner, Sinan Kanatsis, who was a real pioneer in internet marketing and looked around at that point in time and said, where is the association to connect like-minded professionals, thought leaders in that space? He realized nothing existed in that vein, and so he started the Internet Marketing Association at that time. That really grew on the basis of a very strong conference series that was held annually. We are now going into our conference season. I'll tell you more about that in just a moment. But that's been the real connector of the internet marketing professionals around the world that have connected through IMA. So fast forward to 2019, we have over 1.5 million members around the world,
Amazing.
37 countries represented, and are really just beginning the process of growing that brand. I think it's also coming at a very interesting time where my personal belief is that everybody today, whether you are in commercial insurance, technology, real estate, everybody is a digital marketer today. And we all need to connect with best-in-class strategies, thought leadership, and really the how-tos of taking your message, your brand, your idea, getting that online and growing your community that way. So we're at a very interesting point in time with the IMA and its history and what we can offer to our members. We're really excited about the people that are attracted to our organization as members, but also our advisory board, our sponsors, people that support the organization are really best-in-class thought leaders in a variety of disciplines, and we just have a ton of value to offer.
That's great. Yeah, in some respects, the IMA, in this world where more and more people are trying to focus in on these really micro communities, almost anybody, to your point, could get value or be a member of the Internet Marketing Association, because almost all of our businesses are going online in some way, even if it's just making sure we have a presence on key platforms where the audiences are.
And a couple interesting points on that. If you look at our member base and who's attracted to the IMA, it's a combination of startup entrepreneurs who have a new idea and a new company that they're trying to launch. We have CMOs for big Fortune 100 brands. Now, why would you have those two groups connected to an association together? The real value is the networking and connections that exist within IMA. And this is true in the membership base, but also in the conference series that I'll get to in a second. Everybody wants to connect to best-in-class thought leaders and understand what their competition is doing. And the world of internet marketing is constantly shifting. We're seeing platforms change, strategies change. And so there's a need for people to stay connected to relevant thought leaders who are building brands, building companies of all sizes. And so that leads into, how do we connect people? We have an association that is virtual. Anybody that has an internet connection can become an IMA member. IMAnetwork.org is the website if people are interested in looking at what we offer there. Getting people together in person is an equally important part of that, and that's something that we're very, very proud of. We have run a conference series called Impact over a number of years. We've had 10,000 people attend this event since 2013. Our 2019 version is coming up September 29th in Las Vegas. The website for that is impact19.com. Again, impact19.com. This year we have taken our content quality, our keynote speakers to an entirely new level. We are really, really excited about what we have to offer. It's going to be an incredible conference. 300 plus people are expected, and we really think it's going to be the best business conference and venue for people that are interested in digital to connect with some of the best thought leaders on the planet.
That's great. Well, I was going to ask about the conference. I'm actually super excited that I'm going to be there for the conference this year, and I love the name Impact. I think that is a key. Certainly, personally, I take a lot of value in that it's a very multi-threaded word, but this opportunity, how do we make impact? How can the marketing that's happening in various companies have impact? And really the impact that the internet and technology is having in everyone's lives is a conversation that I feel like I explore with people every day. And whether that's my aunt who's well into her 80s or my kids at the other end of that, it's just such a interesting topic. So why the name Impact, and what are some of the highlights that people should expect if they're going to think about coming to Las Vegas for it?
Yeah, so we love the brand Impact, and we love what that word really exemplifies, and it's really twofold for us. There's an impact that our members are making out in the world every day with the businesses they run, the markets they serve, the customers they're attracting, their brand messaging. There's also the impact on the individual that occurs by being part of IMA or part of our conference series. And that perhaps is the most rewarding, is seeing people who have been with us for a couple of years. They connect with others at these conferences and around things like Impact Show. They change their lives. They start to see there's another level they can connect and play bigger in the world. They take that back to their companies, to their families, their communities, and this starts to create a huge impact out in their world. And so that's what we're maybe most proud of, is what comes out of the value of connecting people together around a conference like Impact.
That's great. Very, very Cool. So the other thing I think that I find exciting about IMA and the Impact Conference, as I look at the agenda, there are a lot of Orange County people in there as thought leaders, as speakers at the conference. How, I guess, how is that because it was started here and that's the bulk of the network, or are you guys like me seeing that we have amazing people here that extend their reach and their influence much beyond the borders of Orange County?
It's really twofold. Part of it is because it was started here and
Mm-hmm.
there's a relationship base here. But the other aspect of it is you and I see every day. This is really a world-class community in terms of innovation, thought leadership. It's a wonderful place to live. And by virtue of that, it's attracting the kinds of people that are really changing the world. And that is, I think, emblematic of what Orange County has been and wants to become in the future. And we're really excited that that happens to be part of the IMA story.
Yeah, it's great. I think it's exciting to think about going out in late September, and I'm sure I'll meet some amazing new people, but I'm also going to be out there with a lot of old friends that are here in the local community. So
Exactly.
that's it. It sort of makes it a safer place to hang out, I guess.
Right.
So let's go under the hood a little bit. You have really taken the reins of IMA somewhat recently, created a new path and vision for it. So why don't you share with the audience what you see as your vision for IMA over the next few years?
Yeah, it's a great question. So my vision for IMA really goes back a couple of years. So I had the privilege of attending the Impact conferences the last 2 years, speaking at those events, and really walked away feeling like this was an amazing experience for me as a professional, personal growth, all of those things that I talked about in terms of impact. I'm a walking proof of that. It really has changed my life in a meaningful way. And I thought to myself, it's really a shame if people can't get here in person, they don't get to experience this. And so we wanted to think through a way to really bring the best of IMA to a broader audience. And so my vision for that over the next several years is going to be taking some of our thought leadership content, putting that into a video library that's interactive in nature. And our members, wherever they are, if they can't make it to our annual conference, can still tap into that thought leadership that IMA is so well known for and go through different certification programs with us. We're going to be building out a very deep content library that's going to be fully interactive and video in nature. I think that's the best medium where we can communicate, share conversations like this and others with people that may not be in our backyard but want to tap into what IMA represents.
That's great. So all that said, IMA is based here in Orange County. I'm a big believer in how do we continue to create advantage for those of us who are here. So I want to figure out, how do we give the people in Orange County the best version of IMA here? How are we going to integrate IMA more effectively into Orange County? Because the people who are here don't need to always get it virtually. They can get together in person and we can touch and feel each other, which I think we want to continue to have as human beings. So let's right here, right now, let's talk about how do we get IMA more connected into the Orange County community to give us all more of it.
Yeah, I think the advantage we have here is that we are local in Orange County, so people have the opportunity to connect with us in person. We're doing this in a couple of ways already. We've had a few IMA events locally. We'll continue to make sure that's a priority going forward. The other thing that we're doing for executives and business owners is we've created a subset of IMA called the International Executive Council, or IEC, which has been a very successful endeavor. We're 2 years into that. It's really a way to curate a small group of executives and leaders in this community, get them together one-on-one and in small groups on a bi-monthly basis, really share ideas and use that vehicle to help create change and the future that we want for Orange County.
That's great. So let's flip it a little bit. I find that a lot of the folks that are listening to Accelerate OC are leaning into this idea that, yes, we do need to make Orange County a more connected, supportive community. So I'm going to give you your chance to ask them, what can they do to help you with this IMA vision that you have, that the folks that are here? Because, I'm focusing most of my attention on highlighting how great Orange County is, but also really giving people that opportunity to get more involved or help. So how can they help IMA?
I think the best way people can help IMA is connect with us online, connect with us those of us that are leading the organization connect with us individually, and then take that step of really being active. Connect with us and find out, are there things that you could contribute to IMA and the efforts that we have? Are there things that we could do for you? And I think the biggest challenge we have is just people that don't know what we're doing, and we haven't had the chance to connect. So whether that is LinkedIn, Instagram, webpage, or meeting one-on-one for coffee, I welcome those kinds of interactions. I think there are so many talented, smart people here that can help us advance our mission, and we in turn can help them advance theirs.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Let's talk a little bit outside of, we both are here in Orange County. I think we're both committed to really making progress in the community here. What's your perspective on the things you think we should be doing as a community here as Orange County to make it a better, inviting place for people to do business, start businesses, et cetera?
I think, Carrie, you're up to some really interesting things that I think will create an environment that's attractive to business that wants to be sited here. I think we need to continue, smart business people need to push that message. It's very challenging. I think if you look at our state as a whole, I think we are sitting in one of the best parts of the state. We're obviously biased. We are here, choose to be here, want to be here. I think we have the opportunity to create something really special here and drown out some of the negative noise around the state that exists in other places. So that's my personal mission, is can we take the business people and brands and leaders that are doing some really amazing things here, creating jobs, and really broadcast that, celebrate that success, and use that as a magnet to attract others.
Sure.
I think that's the best thing that we can do. In both of the things that I'm doing, in my business with Epic, I'm building a safe environment for those entrepreneurs and leaders to take risk, hire people, grow the local economy. I'm a big believer that business leaders can solve most of our problems by doing that. We need to create an environment that celebrates them and really makes it a little bit easier for them to go out and do the things that they just know how to do. And the more we can get out of their way and create an environment where they can succeed, the better. Same thing with the Internet Marketing Association and these other projects is, can we create an environment that is conducive to people connecting together, move regulation and other barriers out of the way to the extent that we can, and then celebrate what's already here.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, a big part of what you've seen from me thus far is trying to highlight the things. I mean, the IMA is not new. It's been here since 2001. Highlight those things that have been here. I've talked a lot on the show about TechCo's Venture Network and Octane, and there are a lot of institutions that have been here committed to Orange County far before I arrived here 15 years ago, that many people or the new generation of folks maybe aren't aware of, but we need to connect that past, the present, and our future so that we are keeping the amazing talent here from any of those generations, bringing them together and giving everyone an opportunity to succeed. And I couldn't agree more that I think our expectation that the state's going to play any real role in that should be very low, and that it's got to be our business community that's really leading the way. And we have great universities here that are completely on board to try to support this as well.
We do, and I think the secret advantage we may have in Orange County is, yes, it's a big place, but it's not so big that we can't get the smartest people connected together in a meaningful way. And I think the work that you're doing here is tremendous and a great asset to the community, and part of that pillar of making sure that great people stay here, we attract more great people and smart ideas to this community, and we can succeed long term.
Well, I certainly appreciate the acknowledgement, although I look at this as my small part to try to tell some stories and give people a platform to share some of the great insights and ideas that they have, like you are here. So let's talk a little bit more about IEC. You've mentioned it a couple times. I know you and Sinan and a few other folks really came up with this idea to bring some of those really high-level leaders and give them another platform outside of IMA. Share an example of what someone has, what you've experienced. What's been the greatest experience through that you've had so far? I know it's still pretty new, but I know it's got a lot of traction and momentum, and everybody that I talk to who's involved really, really enjoys it. So share an experience, an example.
Let me first start with why we put this together, because I think for those that aren't familiar, that might be the best place to begin. the idea, if you're a leader, business owner, it can be a very lonely place at times.
Oh, absolutely.
You have challenges, opportunities that you may not be able to circulate with your employees, your external advisors, even your own family. They just may not have the experiences to help guide you around some challenging decisions or exciting ones. It runs the gamut. So we wanted to create a vehicle where those leaders could get together, network with each other, do so in an environment that was unlike a YPO or a Gen Next kind of environment. Those are great organizations, but we wanted something a little bit different. And we've curated a really interesting group of people. So we get that group together on a bi-monthly basis for events. And these could be behind the scenes tours of local companies, keynote speeches from leaders that they wouldn't otherwise have access to. So the content around that we curate is really, really interesting. Everybody walks away from those larger group meetings with something that they just would not have experienced were it not for IEC. The other thing that we did, launched in January, is something called Growth Councils. This was a big initiative that I helped lead and was really passionate about. That idea, it's lonely at the top and business leaders need a way to connect. So we've created this Growth Council experience, which takes our IEC group of 70 members, breaks that into smaller groups of 5 or 6. And this becomes now your external board of advisors, a way to go really deep on your life story from birth till present day, presentation on your business, and then really a forum where you can share in a very safe, confidential environment things that are happening in your world, good, bad, indifferent, and you want to tap into that shared experience and knowledge around that group. It
That's
can be
so
a
awesome.
transformative experience. It really can. We've seen lives change in meaningful ways. For me personally, I've made this transition from being someone who worked in a very large publicly traded corporate environment to now inside a large privately held company where I have an active leadership role. I'm one of the 200 employee owners. I'm working with Xenon closely to build IMA. I'm growing people and companies through IEC, which is fascinating to me. So it's given me the ability to do more, become something bigger than I was a year ago, 2 years ago. And I see that in others as we draw them into that organization. It's really fun.
That's awesome. I don't know that I've told you this. I know you're aware of a breakfast that I started years ago. The genesis of that breakfast was my desire to create my own external advisory board. So at the time I was running a company, I was super lonely, had a great team, but I just wanted that other set of eyes and ears on some of the challenges that I was facing. And I found that others shared that. So you guys are definitely tapping into a key need that exists out there with those councils and with IEC. And, I look forward to continuing to be a part of that, because I couldn't agree more that there is a real need to have that, friendly but objective outside input at all stages of a company's journey.
And isn't it interesting? That's what entrepreneurs do, right? They
That's
look
right.
around, what do I need? If I can't find it, I'm going to create it.
That's
so
right.
you created your breakfast.
Exactly.
This IEC project is similar in nature.
That's right.
But it's really great. You get people together in a way and you start to see they need it maybe more than even you did.
That's right.
And so that's really where you see personal growth happen and networks created, companies formed, things transform when you get people together in environments like that.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for sharing. And I know the audience is really going to take a lot away from both what is happening with the IMA and the transformation ahead. I think it's a great platform for you to take the reins of and help drive a renewed energy and vision into it. I think based on what I've seen with the speakers who are going to be at the Impact Conference this year, I think it's going to be an amazing conference, and I'm really excited to attend. So, and look forward to some of the upcoming IC events as well. So, Sean, we're on our final lap here, and one of the things I always ask my guests is to really share either a piece of advice or a key lesson that they've learned thus far that they want to share with the audience. And we've really had some great nuggets come out of several of the conversations, or really all of the conversations that I've had the privilege of having on here. So what's the biggest piece of advice you would give to the audience about either things you've learned or that you see out there that they should be thinking about?
The biggest advice I would give someone is something that struck me this week, and it seems to pop up on a regular basis, and that is always believe you have the ability to create big impact on others in ways that you may not understand today. And what I mean by that is every day think about what can you give to others, whether it's a piece of advice, encouragement, coaching, mentoring, and watch what happens over a period of time. I've got a couple of people this week that came back to me. I had conversations with them 2 years ago that I completely forgot about. And you catch up and you realize this person, they lost weight, they changed a relationship, they changed a job, they built a company. Wow. Big things happen. So give more of yourself than maybe you think you can. Just do it, just commit to it, and know you've got something of value to share with others, and that's going to change them in some way. You may not know the outcome today. It will come back to you 100-fold. That's one piece of advice I would give people. The second is, to the extent that you can, have this bigger idea of who you will be 2, 3, 4 years down the road, and live today as if you are that version of yourself. I have this little saying that I like, and it's be greater than. And what I mean by that, it's my own personal challenge to myself of, can I be a greater version of myself tomorrow, the day after, the day after? And so it creates this uptick of activity and things that you just find yourself pulled into because you're chasing a better version of yourself. And that has implications on anybody you come into contact with during the day, in your business, in your family, your community. And I would encourage our listeners to give that a shot too.
That's a great motivating call to action and change, right? I mean, just to look in the mirror and not think of yourself as who you are today, but who you really want yourself to be, and start today. You got to start somewhere. That's
we get
amazing.
Very fixated on the competition being outside.
That's right.
Right. And it's really not. It's the person in the mirror. Can I be better than the version of me today?
Yeah. Be better than. I really like that. I'm going to start trying that one on for myself, as I think it's a great call to action. So way to go. And thank you for sharing that. Sean, this has been a ton of fun. I could sit here all afternoon. I know we had a good chat before we even came on the air.
We did.
And, Paul, unfortunately, is giving me the sign over here, so we're going to have to wrap it up. But thanks for sharing your story. Thanks for sharing the IMA story. I look forward to really exciting things ahead. IMA is certainly being better than, it is as things move forward. And I think what you guys are doing with IC as well is really, really valuable. And I know that from firsthand experience, how important those experiences and those groups can be to really help shape us into our better future selves. So you're doing your part to accelerate OC. That is for sure. Thank you for coming on today.
Gary, it was great. Really enjoyed it. Thank you.
You've just listened to Accelerate OC. Join our live recordings every Tuesday morning at accelerateoc.com, or listen, like, and share anytime from your favorite podcast spot. Let's accelerate OC together.